We both actually have a 3-month-old girl. And I was getting diapers. I was telling her I'm not with my child's mother anymore, but before anything else, I'm a man. I handle my responsibility.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And she started telling me how her baby daddy hasn't done anything. As a matter of fact, he took off once he found out she was pregnant. And I felt really bad, and I grabbed another box of diapers. And then she was like, oh my God, thank you. And I started to get choked up. Because this bitch thought I was buying her diapers. It was, oh man. I was just trying to show her I was 2 times better than the nigga she actually fucked. No, she don't fucking play with me like that. You treat them how they deserve to be treated, damn
it. Who the hell is Ryan Davis?
Ryan Davis is hopefully the next big entertainment act. Comedian, writer, actor, producer. Ryan, I hope that's who Ryan Davis is. That's who I want Ryan Davis to be. Anyway.
Slogan is catchy. How did you come up with it?
The slogan, actually, man, and it's genius. It's so brilliant. You know, I wish I had thought of it, but I stole it. I stole it from a rapper, actually. It was a rapper by the name of Joel Ortiz. I was a really big fan of his, and when he first came out with his mixtape, he used to walk around with a shirt that said, "Who the fuck is Joel Ortiz?" And that was the name of his first mixtape. And I was like, you know what? That shit is brilliant. And at the time, I wasn't trying to do anything with my life, but as soon as I started doing comedy, I was like, remember that marketing, the way he did it. And yeah, I just had to try it. I couldn't put fuck, because it's hard to sell that. You know what I mean? And I wanted to sell these shirts too. So, you know, people still get at me, why you gotta put hell on it? It should say who the heavens. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, if you that holy, you don't need to be coming to my shows anyway. I don't do churches.
So you're a young dude, 28, right?
28.
How long have you been doing comedy, and when did you start stand-up?
Any comedian, any real comedian, comedy started at home. When you come out funny. I think that's a God-given gift. I don't think it's anything that you really learn. I got on stage for the first time a little over a year and a half ago. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me and the scariest thing that ever happened to me at the same damn time. It was, I thought about it. People had told me for years that I should try stand-up and things like that. And I had a YouTube channel for a little bit, and I became a YouTube partner, and I was doing things that way, and you know, that fell apart because my cameraman actually went to the Navy, and my my video editor started working for Apple, so that pretty much put me out of the video game. And a friend invited me to a comedy show. It was a comedy competition, and I was sitting there and I watched people bomb over and over again. I saw some people who were pretty good, and my homeboy was sitting beside me. He was like, you know, you funnier than all of them. And it was a competition. You do 3 minutes, win $100. You know, and I was like, maybe one day. And then Kevin Hart came out with Let Me Explain, and he did an hour, you know, worth of stand-up, and none of that influenced me whatsoever. It was whenever he cried at the end is when I was like, yo, why am I not doing what I'm, you know, what I have a gift to do? I have a gift to make people laugh, so I decided to do stand-up after that, and 3 days later I got on try to, I don't know, I figured I couldn't wait anymore. The first stand-up I did it was an open mic where the audience was allowed to boo. And that's probably the dumbest way to first do stand-up. But if anybody follows my career knows I take risks. Big risks. That's the only way to go. So if you do 1 minute and they like you, they'll applaud. You can go to 3 to 5 into 7 tops. It was my first time ever doing stand-up and they let me go to 7. So I knew then. I knew I had a following. I didn't think I had a following because I'd stopped doing YouTube or anything like that. And like I said, it was like 2 days, 3-day notice. Put it on Facebook and 40 people showed up to see me. I was like, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. I had a lot of people who believe in me. So that's pretty much how I got started, man. After that, I was bit by the bug, man. So all I want to do is comedy, some form of it anyway.
Try to get started with comedy.
Misdirection. I do observational humor. Like, I'm a student of the game. I've watched so much comedy, it makes no sense. I've literally seen everybody. I've literally seen everybody. So, but misdirection is what I do the most. I feel as though the crowd, the reaction you get from it is just so much bigger. The laugh is so much bigger than any other type of joke. I got addicted to it. And you get people who go to comedy shows and they'll try to guess your joke. And I love seeing their face when they realize that they're completely off. There was no way they could guess it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess it's sort of like being in love with the control, being able to control people's thoughts a little bit to make them think you're going to say something, but you say something completely different. That's way funnier than even they were thinking you were going to go.
What comedians did you look up to and you still trying to look up to? And just add on to this, maybe.
No, I haven't met any of the people and I've met a ton of comedians, but the people who influenced me the most, I thought I was like, I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan, but I don't know anybody who loves comedy and was born in the 80s who's not a big Eddie Murphy fan. But I was a huge Eddie Murphy fan, and I thought that was who inspired me the most. But actually, after going back and really thinking about it, Chris Rock is my biggest influence. I remember being a kid, and I knew the entire Bigger and Blacker, his whole set, and I didn't know it until I watched it more recently. It was like a month and a half ago. And then when I watched it, I was like, I remember saying that at school. I remember saying all of these jokes in school. So that was probably the one that, influenced me the most. And then as far as newer, later down the line, that whole misdirection style, Dave Chappelle was my influence. I think he's the best to do that by far. Those are the three kings, man. That's to me, they don't get any better than those three. And I know people are going to say Pryor and Carlin or whatever. I didn't grow up watching them. That's not my influence. They're great. I watched both of them. Richard Pryor is probably the most bitten comic of all time. I watched his one stand-up from 1979, and every joke he said, I remember hearing them in 2000. To think that your jokes are still being stolen 21 years later was crazy. But I didn't know that about the dude, but that's not really one of my biggest influences. It's those three, man.
While pursuing your career in comedy, what has been some of the toughest obstacles and how have you had to overcome them?
The toughest obstacle for me is getting people to come see you is really difficult because everybody wants familiarity. People want you to bring people want to see somebody they see in movies and television, but they don't understand that those people weren't always on movies and television. And everybody who's good at it isn't doing movies movies and television. So it's the hard part is getting people to want to see you. Because I feel like once you do see what I bring to the table, as a comedian, you'll become a fan, hopefully. Or at least you'll know who the hell Ryan Davis is. To overcome it, I thought about ways, what could I do to get people to spread the awareness? You know what I mean? What incentive could I give people? And that's when, you just come to be creative, man. That's the hustler in me, man. Like you get creative. You find a way to get people to see you. Like it was this rapper. He made a song, "She Got It" with T-Pain. I can't remember his name. Nobody can. But what he would do is he was a rapper and he would get big rap acts to come perform. And he would open for them. That way, if you see somebody you wanted to see, but you have to see him, and all those artists have to see him. So, and if you're good, you're undeniable, and that's pretty much how. That's the best way to overcome it. Be undeniable. Whenever people do see you, give them something to go talk to somebody else about. When you got people wanting to tell you jokes and telling them people, oh, you got to see this person. That's really how you overcome, the difficulty to get people to take somebody without television credit seriously.
With your success on the circuit and the Charlotte metro area, you've seen tap market in Concord. Tell us about FSDC.
Oh, finally something to do in Concord. Oh man, that's my baby. That's my second baby. That's the one I ain't got to pay child support for. That's the one. Like, really how I came about doing that, man. I wanted to share what I love with the people. I come from a small city. Just keep it real. It qualifies as a city, but if you are from a big city, it's a town. And they're not exposed to comedy. And even in Charlotte, there's one comedy club, the Comedy Zone. So people just aren't exposed to it, and I feel like this is the best entertainment in the world. And of course I'm biased because it's what I do, but man, a comedy show, you go see a singer on a Sunday, your favorite singer, they got you feeling really good. You go home, and then Monday you go to work, you still hate Monday. And you go see a comedy show on Sunday, Mondays ain't all that bad because you're still laughing. It's the best, in my opinion, it's the best form of entertainment. So I wanted to share that with my city, and it also allows me to get my name out there in the process. So it first came whenever I did, like when the 40 people came out to see me do comedy at an open mic. 40 people showed up at an open mic, and they were charging at the open mic. And all those people ate food and paid at the door. I mean, that club easily made about $500 to $600 off of me that night. And I didn't get a dime. I just got on stage. I love the experience, but I like some money too. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna learn how to produce my own show too. So I don't want to say that money has nothing to do with it, because at the end of the day, being when you're in entertainment, knowing your worth is everything. And I can do what I love for free, or I can do what I love and make money. I mean, I feel like there's really no comparison when you look at the two. So finally something to do in Concord.
With the FSDC and the comics, you reach out to them or did they come to you? How is this? How do they get them? So it's both?
Both. I reach out to comics. I reach out to celebrity comics. I reach out to touring comedians. working comedians. And sometimes comedians reach out to me. I've had comedians from Atlanta, Detroit, and everyone reach out to get on my show, which made it really, made me feel really good that the reputation of the show has left the state, not just the city, but the state. Whenever, I'm in the Southeast and someone from the Midwest is like, I want to come down and do your room. That's crazy because it's still little old Concord. Whenever I get some of the bigger name comedians to come down, they have no fucking clue what a Concord is. Okay, have not the slightest clue what a Concord is, but they know when they leave, and then not only do they know Concord, they know the person who made it possible. So win-win. I got to bring something to my city, and I get to get my name out there in the process.
Where do you see yourself in 1, 5, 10 years from now?
1 year, 1 year from now, I'll be deciding, should I stay here or should I go to New York or LA? 5 years from now, I'll either be in New York or LA, because that's not a decision I have to make anymore. And I know it sounds crazy because I haven't been doing it long or anything like that, but I just have that kind of drive to where I feel like 5 years from now I'll probably be discovered. I really believe that. I really believe that. When I think about the ground that I've gained in a year and a half, going to give me an opportunity to do 4 more of them or 3 more of those, I'll probably get discovered. Because I feel like I'm not going to let anybody match my grind. I'm not going to, if I see the hardest working comedian I've ever seen, be like, man, I'm going to do better than that. That's the goal. I'm going to be, if they can get 300 people to come to a show, I need to get 4. If they can get 4, I need to get 5. I need to do whatever it takes for the world to know my name. And I work hard with writing, you know what I mean? I know a lot of comedians who've been doing comedy for years. And, they don't have a solid feature set, a solid 25, 30 minutes. I've done it now. All material, no crowd work or anything. The writing is the most important part to me. And I do it religiously. I'm always trying to come up with new material or how I can make something that I've said better so I can be undeniable, because, putting in all the hard work to be seen is great. But when it's time to be seen, you gotta have something to say. So, I make sure that not only do I work hard to get put in front of you, but when I get in front of you, I'm trying to make myself memorable.
If you could say something to yourself a year ago, knowing where you are today, what would it be?
If I could tell, man, I would have told myself, quit your job and you're good enough, man. Don't doubt yourself no more. Don't doubt yourself anymore. It's yours for the taking, man. That's what I would have told myself, man. If anything else, it probably would have been said in a more funny way. Because about a year ago, I probably wouldn't listen to some crazy nigga look at me in the eyes going, it's yours for the taking. I've probably been like, man, if you don't get the fuck out my face. So I probably would have found a way to deliver it better. But nah, I realized you get out what you put in. And even though a year ago, things were good, a little bit after that, things started to go backwards career-wise for me. Because I didn't work as hard as I did. I had an expectation that once I got to a certain point, I can only go up. Because once people are with you, I think they're with you forever, and they're not. You have to make them stay with you. Man, it was a good learning experience, but if I could have dodged that would have been great. Go back a year and be like, hey, remember your biggest show you did, put together. Work hard he gotta work that hard every time. People want you to ask them to come out every time. That whole we support you, we're behind you, that's wonderful once you make it into a movie or television. But that's Hollywood. This is Concord. Go pass out them damn flyers. Like,